And apparently they had reached out to several realtors, but I was the only realtor that followed up with them.
All right, Miss Amy, you had a closing recently with Knoxville Real Estate Professionals. So set the scene, tell us about you and the client and like how you got that deal and like just talk about it. Tell us what happened.
The clients are from New Mexico and they want to relocate, or well, they were wanting to relocate to East Tennessee and reached out and asked could I help them with finding a home. They gave me the parameters of what they were looking for. And so I ran searches and got some houses sent over to them. And apparently they had reached out to several realtors, but I was the only realtor that followed up with them
Mm.
and actually provided them with homes to look at. And so we did several different searches based off of the things that I would send them, and they would tweak it and say, okay, well, let's look for this and let's, maybe add this in there. And we found them their home. So.
Yeah, that is great. So you helped them in the on the buyer side. You were their buyer's representation. So talk about that process with them. You got them here. They viewed homes. You got them under contract. What was it, a smooth transaction or did some stuff go sideways?
So things kind of went sideways. The house that they thought they were interested in when we met did not turn out to be at all what we thought. The pictures were clearly AI generated,
Mm,
and not didn't were they were not a accurate representation of the home or the property. Initially, the buyers were looking for land that they could put horses and cows on.
hmm
And so they drove from New Mexico. I met them at this house, and this piece of property turned out to be completely wooded. And the way that the original pictures had been taken appeared that there was clear land, fields, so
hmm
forth with this piece of property that would have allowed them to have the animals that they were looking at. So we got on the computer at this house and proceeded to run some other searches. Went to another house that was a completely opposite direction, ended up going an hour and something to see this house. Got there. Again, the same type of scenario. It looked like there was land suitable for animals. We get there, it's not, even though the house had like 10 acres of land, it probably only had about three usable acres.
Right.
So when you're looking at it from the pictures, it completely it
Yeah.
makes you know what I'm saying. It appears one way only to learn that it's a different.
Yeah, and I think that that's really a unique quality that you can bring to the table for clients because you have horses yourself and you're used to having usable land for large animals of that size. So it must be it's really beneficial for your clients to see that's like, oh, well, yeah, there's 10 acres, but like there's not really 10 acres,
Right.
as far as usability. And I think that's something that's undervalued in the industry because people just think 10 acres is 10 acres. But I grew up in the country too. We didn't raise horses, but we had a farm.
Yeah.
And like there's usable land, there's farmland, there's different uses for these things. And when you just see 10 acres on a spec sheet, it's like you think 10 acres of flat usable land, that's the hope, but really like you're looking at 10 acres that's on the side of a mountain that you
Yeah.
can't really do anything with. So,
And that is exactly how this first house was. It
mhm,
literally was on a slope and it was
mhm.
not usable.
Yeah, when I work with sellers, I try to explain that when they come to me and they're like, yeah, our house has so many acres that come with it. And I'm like, but how much of that is usable to a potential buyer? Because it's
Mhm.
like you bought the property with your own vision in mind, but they are going to buy the property with a different vision in mind. So 10 acres is not always the same 10 acres.
Right, right. So going back to we viewed the first house, then went to the second house. Again, got back on the computer, looked for another one, which was again another complete different direction. So we ended up doing 3 hours, three homes, all in that one evening. And again, none of this was expected because these buyers were pretty set on the original house. I'm
Hmm.
just glad they didn't buy it sight unseen, which they had talked about doing. Um, because that would obviously not have worked out for them. So we get to the third house, and they absolutely loved it. It was a beautiful house. It had land you would have worked for their livestock. They did put a contract or an offer on it, and they had we had a waiting period. The homeowners already had a contract on it, but they had a 48-hour kick out clause.
Yeah.
Um, and so they had to get a contract on their house in order to be able to move forward with the purchase of this house. So we started going through the weekend only to find out that they were able to execute the contract on their house, which then left my buyers without a contract and without a home. So we had to start back from square one. And at this point, they had already gone back to New Mexico. So they were not here to even look at homes
Mhm.
with me. So I got back on, started running searches, started sending them, different options that would meet, their needs and the criteria that they were looking for. And we found another one actually in the same counties, kind of not far from their original home that they had the first contract on. And the contract was accepted and we got closed and they're happy and they're getting to move from New Mexico and they're super
That's
excited.
awesome. Yeah, that's great. I love when that's it's really funny when people are like, well, buyer's agents don't, why do I need a buyer's agent? This is why. Because especially with relocation and you're moving to a place where you've never been before and you don't know the like topography of the area, it's one of the things that I talk about most with people that are relocating. Um, and their expectations of what an hour looks like as far as travel. And it's like, well, you're going 20 miles, but it'll take you an hour to get there because it's switchback curbs the whole way. So it's
Yeah.
really interesting to see the journey for relocation people, especially when they're like, oh, we're going to Knoxville. And I'm like, is Knoxville truly the destination that you want? Or are we okay with a little bit outside? Just because, like, if you limit yourself to one area, you might miss out on some great properties that are
Yeah.
adjacent, but still travel
Mhm.
friendly to get to where you need to be for work or whatever. So what surprised your client the most during this
Um,
process?
I think one of the things they were incredibly happy with is the fact that I was willing to go and do the FaceTime with them and the walkthrough of all of these houses without them being here to see the house itself. Um, so I went and did all of the videos and we were FaceTiming, let them basically I was their eyes for them with through the camera. And so
Mhm.
that was one of the things that I think that surprised them. Um, that there was an agent out there that was willing to do that, work with them on that level. And so yeah, I was happy to help them with that.
Yeah, FaceTime showings are always a little tricky because you have to try to be a
Mhm.
professional camera person,
Yes.
and we're not. We try our best. I've done that before in the past too, and it was a really the for me it was people that were relocating from Alaska, and so I did a lot of different video showings for them as well, because it's not as easy to just like come in from Alaska.
Right.
It's a big, it's not just as a quick drive.
Right.
So what
That's
do
the
you
same with
think?
Mexico.
Yeah. It's not easy to come from New Mexico either. I feel like as soon as you cross the Mississippi, like if you're coming to Tennessee, that's just a long drive. Like it's it's a lot. Make sure
Yes.
you fly.
Yeah.
So what do you think that your clients would say about working with you now?
Well, I think they would be happy and very pleased with the job. And actually, they did promote me on several different social platforms. And how I had transitioned and made everything smooth for them in the whole process, and was great, to work with. And so they were very easy clients to work with as well. Very receptive. I didn't have to chase after anybody for signatures on anything. Basically, if I sent a text, they were very quick to respond, which made things smooth and easy.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes, it's always great when collaboration between agent and client are meshed well.
Yes.
And I think that's something that people underestimate too. It's like I don't get offended anymore by people that choose not to use me as an agent because it's like we didn't mesh well for whatever reason. The solution didn't match, and that's okay because people are different, situations are different. So it's just one of those things where it's like I want to be able to help at the
Hmm.
time that I'm needed.
Right.
Um, so what is one thing you would tell, what advice would you give to another agent if they were in a similar situation?
Make sure you send that follow-up email or that follow-up outreach, because many agents did not. And I was the only one. And they called and said specifically, had you not reached out, you would not be our realtor. You were the only one that followed up and helped
Mm,
us. So I feel like that is good advice for us all.
yeah, that's great. It's the hardest piece and the easiest piece at the same time because I feel like we don't want to be a burden, be like, hey, this is your friendly neighborhood realtor again, and then to be either met with silence or whatever. So it's
Right.
easy to get discouraged on the follow up, but it's so important to be able to regenerate that business.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. I mean,
Yeah.
and for me, it actually turned into two deals. So it worked out on the front end with them. And then it's also having another closing coming up at the end of this week, for family members of theirs who are also moving.
Okay, great. So you got them, and then because you represented them well, you got their family. That seems
Yeah.
to be like the trend recently. So I'm happy to hear that. Love that the training in place was able to get you through a smooth transaction. You were able to represent them well, and they ultimately got what they needed with their house. So yeah, I know you said you have another closing coming up, so I'm happy to talk about that one next. So we'll probably have another video soon with Amy, but her details, if you are relocating to Tennessee or looking for a farm or whatever, Amy's great. Her details will be in the description, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If this helped you think differently about how you show up for your clients, hit subscribe. We drop new trainings every month designed to make you a better agent, not just a busier one. See you next time.